what? I am live now. Hopefully you guys are doing well. Hey David D, how's it going? As the link says, today is Heritage Day. And the text says, behold, the name of the 5th day shall be Yom Nala, or Na-Kla, Heritage Day. Like a raging river, the past flows into the present. Lo, this river carries all the good and the bad things of previous generations and deposits both upon the shore of the present, which is your shore. Yea, the sins of your ancestors are present in your blood, as the sins of past cultures are present in your customs. Embrace the helpful things of previous generations, but reject the hurtful. And pray that you pass on better things to the next generation. I love this. I have been very passionate about, I started a hashtag of new family traditions start with you, because we are at an exciting point where we're all waking up and realizing, just like this text says, that some of these things that we have been doing, whether they're our own family customs or, our cultural customs, they have been based off of deception, and ultimately all of us have eaten animals in the past. We've been a part of corrupt religious groups. Hey, how's it going? And so yeah, the Contemplation says, therefore at midday of the 5th day, contemplate peace with your heritage. Yea, speak these words. Our God and Goddess immanent and transcendent, send to all your angel of peace. May wisdom guide us as we accept or reject things from the past. May your angel of wisdom bless all that we pass on to the future. So beautiful. And from this text, I wanted to read what it says as far as the practical suggestions and things that we can do in real life. It says, Nazarene Essenes practice peace with culture or heritage via such things as studying the writings of the great spiritual masters of various religious teachings or traditions, listening to the great musical masterpieces that have been passed down through the generations, viewing the great works of art, paintings, sculptures, craft work, etc., that are preserved in museums, becoming aware of our own ethnic cultural heritage, becoming aware of the ethnic cultural heritages of others. The Megillah also makes clear that part of peace with heritage, or also called peace with culture, is to practice discernment when it comes to deciding which aspects of what has come down to us from previous generations is worthy of being incorporated into our lives and passed on to future generations. Some things that the past deposits on the shore of the present, prejudices and ignorant viewpoints from relatives or past cultures, should be composted like the manure that they are. So that's really cool too. The main thing that always comes to mind when we're talking about this is anything with the treatment of animals and how we enslave them and use them. But yeah, even our beliefs in religious teachings. I wanted to read to you today from the Nazarene Book of Genesis. Hey there, little bug. We don't want you to be smushed in my pages. Okay. This is about the 3 salvations, and it's really cool that kind of pertains to this because a lot of us came from a mainstream Christian background or other, beliefs where salvation is maybe based on blood atonement or just different things. That's definitely where, my background is coming from, the mainstream Christianity and this idea that, we don't have salvation, and after this one single lifetime, we're either going to go to heaven forever or we're going to go to hell forever. And, that can definitely be disheartening. So I'm glad to find different words like this that resonate as true. And so this goes into saying that there are different ways that one can reject or accept friendship or fellowship with God and Goddess, whether we're rejecting them by disregarding them completely. Let me just actually read it. One may be aware of our relationship and choose to oppose us. This is rejection by rebellion. One may be aware of our relationship but choose to pay it no regard. This is rejection by disregard. One may be deceived to believe our relationship, hey wind, thank you, is other than it is. This is rejection due to deception. One may be unaware that we have any relationship. This is rejection by ignorance. One may be partially aware of our relationship and regard it lovingly with great faith and sincerity, but may be missing important information about the true halika, the true path, the true way of God and Goddess. This is acceptance by faith, and most of your mainstream Christians are in that path, right? They know that they have this relationship with God, and they do see it as a loving thing, and they try to put faith in it, but they're missing a lot of the important details, including knowing who God and Goddess are, right? At a fundamental level, especially if you think that God or Goddess, either one of them, want any type of animal sacrifice or are vengeful, or those mainstream Christian beliefs that so many people have about God. So that last one was acceptance by faith. And one may be aware of our relationship and regard it lovingly with acceptance of the true halika. This is acceptance by discipleship. And finally, one may be aware of our relationship regarding it lovingly and persevere with the halika as a disciple unto twinship as a co-worker in the family of Christ. This is acceptance by friendship. Now here we go, getting deeper into the part. It says, those who reject the Lord and Lady are not rejected by the Lord and Lady. We love them and will reach out to them with our hands of mercy. But until they take hold of the hand we offer and thereby accept us into their lives, they have only the first form of salvation, which is continued existence within the mother ovum without the guidance of Elohim. This is a form of salvation because were it not for the grace of Jaja, these beings would cease to exist. Wherefore, this form of salvation is called matana, which means gift. And the earlier teachings talk about how we are already all immortal beings. Like our souls are going to continue going on. There is no soul death, but there is the great danger that we will talk about in just a minute. So these people that basically reject the hand of mercy, they still have continued existence within the mother ovum. So hopefully one of these lifetimes they will wake up. But the placement of these beings in the mother ovum will be according to their thoughts, words, and deeds, according to justice. They are not placed according to mercy because they have not accepted the hands of mercy, which is the Lord and Lady. For to be guided by a guide, one cannot reject the guide. And without Elohim as a guide, there will be much weeping and gnashing of teeth. For the path that seems easy and rosy is in truth perilous and thorny. Though their placement is not by mercy, even so, their continued existence is by mercy. For it is the eternal hope of mercy that all will repent and grasp the hand of mercy before the deep sleep. You have heard of the great danger, which is the price of free will, which is the danger of the consequences of bad choices. But now hear of the greatest danger, sleep so deep that you can no longer be made awake. Behold, due to the grace of Jaja, a being cannot become non-being. Therefore, a being cannot truly die. But lo, a being can fall so deeply asleep that his consciousness exists only in a dormant state. Lo, such a being cannot animate even the body of an insect. He has no body but sleeps in the dust of darkness for endless cycles, unaware of anything, even that he exists. He is as close to non-being as a being can become. Even the Lord and Lady cannot awaken such a sleeper, for such a one neither hears, nor sees, nor thinks, nor feels. That actually reminds me of the definition of ego, because the etymology actually says the ego is the self, that which thinks, acts, and speaks, or feels, And it's kind of saying the exact same thing. It's interesting that so many religions teach killing the ego, but really it should be killing the false ego and embracing your true ego, your true self, and all of the things that come along with that. But I find it interesting that they kind of describe this as a person without an ego. They don't have a self, right? He neither hears, nor sees, nor thinks, nor feels. Wherefore I say, put not off your salvation until next season, or next year, or next lifetime, saying, I will have fun now and repent later. For behold, what you call fun may make you too blind to recognize the hand of salvation that even now is offered. As we've spoken before about the golden ladder, like our thoughts, actions, our deeds, those are the same thing. Thoughts, emotions, actions, deeds, words, all of these things are either in line with God and Goddess, or they're out of line, and they either uplift us and bring us higher on the golden ladder of being, or they bring us lower. And you can imagine these people that get into these downward spirals, and it's really, really easy to stay in that downward spiral. And that's what they're saying. Eventually that downward spiral leads to this place of as close to non-being as you can become. Those who are partially aware of their fellowship with Elohim and regard it lovingly with great faith, but know not of the true Halika, such will have the second form of salvation, continued existence in the mother ovum, according to the placement of Elohim. So before it was just according to the placement of justice, right? According to their thoughts, words, and deeds, according to justice. And on the other hand, the placement for the second form of salvation is according to the placement of Elohim. And that placement is according to justice, tempered with mercy. For though ignorant of the true Halika, their love of Elohim, albeit they know not the full nature of Elohim, and belief in the hand of mercy is enough to permit mercy to influence their placement within the mother ovum. This salvation is for all who believe and have faith in the hand of mercy, though ignorant of the Nazarene Halika. Yea, the mother ovum is like a mansion with many rooms. Some rooms are dark, some have a dim light, and some are filled with the splendor of bright light. Those of the first salvation place themselves in rooms of darkness. Those of the second salvation are placed by Elohim in rooms with dim light. And those of the third salvation live in the bright light of Elohim. Lo, if those of the second salvation were placed in the bright light of Elohim, they would be burned by the light, for they are not ready. But their belief and faith has made them ready to receive the gift of continued existence in the mother ovum, according to the placement of Elohim. And that placement will be wise. They will be placed where they need to be to learn the lessons at hand. And that placement will be merciful. They will not be placed in the rooms of great darkness, but in rooms of dim light. And in their next lifetime, perhaps, they will receive the true Halika and become ready to receive the third salvation. Those who are aware of their relationship with Elohim and regard it lovingly with great belief and faith, even unto discipleship under the yoke of the true Halika, shall have the third salvation, and they will have the gift of eternal light, or life, in the bright light of Elohim. Wherefore the third salvation is called Ar Panimi, which means internal light. Yea, even when such a one walks in a dark world on a mission of mercy, the Lord and Lady are within him. For we live in our disciples, and they live in us. And when not on a mission of mercy, our disciples shall be even in the presence of our bodies in El Cush. So if you remember from previous teachings, you can ascend the golden ladder. I was going to say the grand ladder, but it is, right? The golden ladder of being, and essentially pierce the mother ovum and get into the heaven most high with Jah and Jah. And that is where the heartbeat is heard of the dove and the lamb, which is the question, who will go? Who will leave these beautiful heavenly abodes, this peace, this love, this tranquility, to go down below, to be the hands and feet of mercy, to lift others up, and to be the light. For behold, though Cush has been attacked on earth, we shall raise it to be a heaven above this world. And it will be called El Cush, and it shall be the Nazarene heaven for this world. Nazarenes who live in El Cush shall be called El Cushites, and will have cherubim bodies. Lo, cherubim bodies are eternal bodies that need not die. And the Lord and Lady shall reside in El Cush in cherubim bodies, even as we reside in countless heavenly abodes through the mother ovum. And I'm going to read this part too because it's very interesting about the nature of our souls too. Be not amazed that our spirits reside in many bodies, for our spirits are powerful beyond your comprehension, and we desire to be with our children in countless worlds, even simultaneously. Lo, the mother ovum is vast, and it is needful that the Lord and Lady wear countless bodies to visit the countless worlds. So it's really interesting because they're talking about how, they can be in multiple worlds at different times. And I love that they made the promise that they would always be here with us, their children. And it's really encouraging to read all of that about salvation in particular. I know that many people like me have family that are still asleep and not questioning religious things and other topics. But, especially if they are part of that second salvation, we can rest assured that they at least have the mercy and justice balance, placement of Elohim that will come in the next life, as we plant seeds now in the here and now, to try to change it. So, yeah. I'm feeling really encouraged about today's message and the piece with heritage, and I just love getting to question all of the things from the past and knowing that my future children are going to be a blank slate. Also reading in the Holy Megillah about the order of the Immaculate Conception and how they would intentionally purify and join this order, and then they would intentionally raise their children to be in this order as well, so that by every progressive generation of purification comes more brighter souls into this world. And they say that Christ was from a long lineage from the order of the Immaculate Conception. So it's just really cool how all of these things tie together as well. So hopefully it's encouraging to you as well. And hopefully you are trying for that third salvation where we're actually not just going along and loving God, but we're seeking His and her, God and Goddess. We're seeking their will and trying to walk the path that they set out before us intentionally, right? So, yes. I hope that you guys have a wonderful rest of the day. I will see you back here tomorrow at the same time. Not the same place because the internet is bad. But I hope that you, have a wonderful day. And I'll see you later.